Part 1. A Happy Family. I grew up in a beautiful house with my 2 brothers and 1 sister. We were a close and loving family. My father was a successful businessman. He had a lot of money and gave us everything we needed. My mother was kind and caring, always making sure our home was filled with love and warmth. We had a big house with many rooms, a beautiful garden, and expensive cars. From the outside, everything looked perfect. People admired our family. They thought we were the luckiest children in the world. Every weekend we had family dinners, laughing and sharing stories. My father always told us, family is the most important thing in life. No matter what happens, we must always stay together. We believed him. We trusted him. But we did not know that our perfect life was hiding a secret. Part 2. The Mysterious Phone Calls. One evening I noticed my father acting strange. He was always on the phone, speaking in a low voice. His face looked worried, but when he saw us, he smiled like everything was fine. At first, I thought it was just business. But then, my sister whispered to me, "Have you noticed? Father is different these days. Something is wrong." My older brother also noticed. He said, "I saw Father talking to a man in a black car last night. They looked serious. When I asked him about it, he told me to go inside." We started watching our father closely. He still smiled at us, bought us gifts, and acted normal. But deep inside, we knew something was changing. One night I woke up and heard my father talking loudly in his office. I quietly walked to the door and listened. He said, "I need more time. Please, don't do this to my family." My heart started beating fast. Who was he talking to? What was happening? Was my father in danger? I had so many questions, but I was too afraid to ask. Part 3. The Hidden Truth. The next morning, everything seemed normal, but my father looked tired. His eyes had dark circles, and he barely ate his breakfast. My mother looked at him with concern, but she didn't say anything in front of us. That evening, my brothers, my sister, and I gathered in my room. My older brother, Mark, said, "We need to find out what's going on. Father is hiding something." My younger brother, Ryan, looked nervous. "But what if it's something dangerous?" My sister, Emily, whispered, "Then we must know the truth." We made a plan. That night, when my father went to his office again, we quietly followed. We hid behind the door and listened. He was talking to someone on the phone. "I don't have the money yet. Just a few more days. Please don't hurt them." My heart stopped. Hurt who? Was someone threatening our family? Suddenly, my father opened the door. He saw us standing there. His face turned pale. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his voice serious. Mark stepped forward. "Father, tell us the truth. What's happening?" For a moment, my father looked like he wanted to lie, but then he sighed and sat down. "I never wanted you to know this," he said, "but I can't hide it anymore." We held our breath as he began to tell us the truth. Part 4. A Secret Debt. My father took a deep breath and said, "A few years ago I made a mistake, a big mistake." He told us that his business had been struggling. To save it, he had borrowed money from some very dangerous people. At first, he thought he could repay them, but the debt kept growing. The men he borrowed from were not ordinary businessmen. They were criminals. They don't care about business, my father said. They only care about money, and now they want it back. If I don't pay, they will come after our family. I felt cold. Our perfect life was built on a lie. Ryan's voice trembled. How much do you owe them? My father looked down. More than I can ever repay. Emily's eyes filled with tears. What will happen to us? My father held her hand. I will protect you, no matter what. But deep inside, I knew he was afraid. And for the first time in my life, I was truly afraid too. Part 5. The warning. The next morning, my father left early. He said he had a meeting, but we all knew it was more than that. The house felt different, quieter, heavier. My mother tried to act normal, but we could see the worry in her eyes. That afternoon, while we were sitting in the living room, the doorbell rang. My mother opened the door, and two strange men stood there. They were tall, dressed in black, with cold, serious faces. "Where is your husband?" one of them asked. My mother hesitated. "He's not home." The man nodded slowly, then looked inside the house. His eyes scanned the room, landing on us. "Nice family," he said. "It would be a shame if something happened to them." A chill ran down my spine. They were threatening us. Before my mother could say anything, the men left. We watched them walk to a black car and drive away. Mark clenched his fists. "They're not just asking for money anymore. They're warning us." Ryan looked pale. "What are we going to do?" Emily whispered. "We need to help Father." For the first time, we realized this was not just our father's problem, it was ours too. Part 6. The Hidden Envelope. That night, when my father came home, my mother told him about the men. His face went white. He didn't say a word, just walked to his office and shut the door. I couldn't sleep. Something inside me told me there was more to the story, something my father wasn't telling us. So, late at night, I did something I had never done before. I sneaked into my father's office. The room was dark except for the soft glow of his desk lamp. I looked around, my heart pounding. Then I saw it. A small locked drawer. I searched his desk and found the key. My hands were shaking as I unlocked it. Inside, I found an envelope filled with papers and a large amount of cash. I opened the papers. Bank statements, letters, and a note with a name and a phone number. And at the bottom of the pile, there was something even more shocking. A plane ticket. One way, not for my father, for all of us. I covered my mouth to stop myself from gasping. Was my father planning to run away? Part 7. A Desperate Plan. I stood there staring at the plane tickets. My hands felt cold. Was my father planning to escape with us? Was he going to leave everything behind? Suddenly, I heard footsteps. My heart raced as I quickly put everything back and locked the drawer. Just as I stepped away, the door opened. It was my father. His eyes narrowed as he saw me standing near his desk. "What are you doing here?" he asked. I took a deep breath. "I know everything," I said. "I know about the debt. I know about the men who came today, and I know about the plane tickets." My father's face changed. For a moment, he looked broken. He sighed and sat down, rubbing his face. I didn't want you to find out this way. I sat across from him. Tell me the truth. Are we running away? He hesitated, then nodded. If I don't pay them soon, they will come after us. I can't let that happen. I have arranged passports and new identities. We will leave in 3 days. 3 days. That was all the time we had before our lives changed forever. I didn't know what to feel. Leaving meant safety, but it also meant losing everything. Our home, our friends, our entire life. Before I could say anything, my father held my hand. I need you to trust me. I nodded, but deep inside, I knew this wasn't over. Part 8. The Unexpected Betrayal. The next morning, we sat together as a family. My father told my mother and my siblings about the plan. My mother looked heartbroken, but she agreed. Mark and Emily didn't say much, but Ryan looked upset. "This isn't fair," Ryan suddenly shouted. "Why should we leave? This is our home." My father tried to calm him down. "It's the only way to keep us safe." But Ryan shook his head. There has to be another way. That evening, while everyone was packing, Ryan disappeared. We searched the house, but he was gone. My father's face turned pale. Then the phone rang. My father answered, and I could hear his breathing become heavy. "Who is this?" he asked. A deep voice on the other end replied, "Your son is with us." My blood ran cold. Ryan had made a terrible mistake. He had gone to the men my father owed money to, and now they had him. The voice continued, "No more running, Mr. Carter. You have 24 hours. Bring the money, or your son doesn't come back." The call ended. Silence filled the room. Then my father stood up, his eyes full of determination. "We're not leaving anymore. We're going to get Ryan back." Part 9. The Dangerous Deal. We stood frozen, my father's words hanging in the air. "We're going to get Ryan back." Mark clenched his fists. "How? We don't have the money they want." My father looked at us. "We may not have the money, but we have something more valuable." He walked to his office and pulled out a small black box from his safe. Inside was a diamond necklace, one of the rarest in the world. "I was saving this for emergencies," he said. "Now it's time to use it." We didn't ask where he got it. We didn't have time. The only thing that mattered was getting Ryan back. That night, my father made the call. "I don't have cash, but I have something worth even more. Let's make a deal." The man on the other end laughed. "You have one chance, Mr. Carter. Meet us tomorrow at midnight. No tricks." Midnight, a dark alley, no police, no guarantees. We had no choice. Part 10. The Midnight Meeting. The next night, my father and Mark left for the meeting. I wanted to go, but my father refused. "Stay home and protect your mother and Emily," he said. As they left, I stood by the window, my heart pounding. What if something went wrong? What if we never saw them again? Hours passed. Midnight came. Then 1 a.m. No call, no news. Then, bang! A loud noise outside. Tires screeching. A car speeding away. I ran to the door, and at that moment the phone rang. My mother picked it up, her hands shaking. A familiar voice. "Mark." "We have Ryan. We're coming home." Tears filled my eyes. He was safe. Minutes later, the door burst open. Ryan ran inside, his face pale, his hands shaking. He hugged my mother tightly, tears streaming down his face. Mark and my father followed, their clothes dirty, their faces tense. My father looked at me. It's over. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to think our nightmare was finally behind us. But deep inside, I knew. Some secrets never stay buried forever. Part 11. The final warning. Ryan was safe, but something felt wrong. My father and Mark sat silently in the living room, their faces tense. Emily whispered to me, "Why do they look so worried? Shouldn't they be happy?" I didn't have an answer. Finally, my father spoke. "We need to leave, now." My mother looked confused. "But you gave them the necklace. The deal is done, right?" My father shook his head. I thought so too. But before we left, their leader gave me a warning. He said, "We don't forget, Mr. Carter. This is not the end." A chill ran down my spine. Ryan looked guilty. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do." My father put a hand on his shoulder. "It's not your fault. But we can't stay here. It's only a matter of time before they come back." Mark stood up. "Then let's go. Tonight." We packed in silence. Everything we had ever known, our home, our memories, had to be left behind. At dawn, we drove away, leaving our old life in the rearview mirror. Part 12. A new beginning? Days passed. We traveled to a new city, staying in a small apartment under new names. It was nothing like our old life, but we were together. That was all that mattered. At first, things seemed peaceful. No phone calls, no threats, no sign of the men who had once controlled our fate. But one evening, as I walked home from the store, I felt it. Someone watching me. I turned around. A black car was parked across the street. A man in a suit stood beside it, smoking a cigarette. He looked straight at me. Then he smiled. And just like that, I knew we would never truly be free. Epilogue. The shadow that follows. We thought we had escaped. We thought we had left our past behind. But the past has a way of catching up. The man in the suit never approached me. He didn't say a word. He only watched, like a hunter waiting for the right moment. When I got home, I told my father. His face darkened. He didn't ask questions. He already knew. They found us. That night we had a choice, run again or fight back. My father looked at us. "No more running." Mark nodded. "It's time we take control of our own story." For the first time, we weren't just survivors. We were ready to face whatever came next. And this time, we wouldn't lose. If you like this story, please subscribe, like, and comment.